Morning class, this is Thursday, April 2nd. This is your lesson for today, World History. Thursday, April 2nd. Make sure you're doing your lessons every single day. As soon as this lesson is over, go over and take your World History quiz. Thursday, April 2nd. Make sure you're taking your quiz as well. We're going to review a little. We're still talking about Attila, king of the Huns. So we're going to pick up where we were on Tuesday, review a little bit, and then we'll get some new notes for today. Talking about peace with the Romans. So Attila and Bleda at this time, they're in charge. Their uncle, King Rua, had died. They're now in charge of the Han Empire. And the Han Empire had been fighting with the Romans for many, many years. So in 439 AD, Attila and Bleda signed the Treaty of Margus, which is a peace treaty with the Roman Empire. This treaty meant the Romans would pay off the Huns for peace. So the Romans had been paying the Huns to protect them from other invaders, other people that would attack. But then the Huns got tired of doing that, so they just started attacking the Romans. And the Romans started to pay the Huns to not attack them. So they brokered this peace treaty called the Treaty of Margus in 439 AD. Very important. After this treaty was signed, the Romans removed their troops from the Eastern Front. So the Huns have been attacking the Romans on the Eastern Front. This peace treaty is signed. They're now paying off the Huns, so they don't have to worry about being attacked anymore. So the Romans take many of their troops out from the Eastern Front, send them into Sicily in North Africa to fight against a group of people known as the Vandals. So the Vandals were a Germanic group of people that fought against the Romans for years. They originated out of what's modern-day Germany. And they eventually went and settled a kingdom in North Africa. They were there for about 100 years, and they would send ships up to Corsica and Sicily and attack the Roman Empire. They eventually took over the islands of Corsica and Sicily, and in 455 AD, they actually plundered and destroyed Rome. The English word we use, vandalism, came from this group of people. Here's just some pictures of the sacking of Rome in 455 AD. So the Roman Empire took troops away from the Eastern Front, sent them down to fight the Vandals. So after the treaty was signed, the Huns turned their attention east to fight against the Sassanid Empire. So the Sassanid Empire is located in modern-day Iran, and they're a very, very powerful force. They're the last pre-Islamic Persian Empire, and the Attila and the Huns went down and started fighting against the Sassanid Empire, but they were turned away. The first time Attila was turned away, and they were driven back to their home base, which was the Great Hungarian Plain, or the Great Plain. This is just a depiction of Sassanid warrior. Okay, Roman numeral 4. Write this down. These are new notes. Roman numeral 4, war with the Romans. War with the Romans. So when Attila and Bleda saw that the Romans had left, they attacked the vulnerable Romans. So obviously the Romans had taken all their troops away from the Eastern Front. Attila and his sons go down to fight the Sassanid Empire. After they were driven back, they come back to the Great Plain, and they realized that the Romans had taken all their troops away from the front, and the Romans were vulnerable. They didn't have any defense for all these cities, so they attacked the Romans there. The Huns claimed that the Romans had broke the treaty by not releasing all the prisoners agreed upon. So there were some Hun prisoners that the Romans had, and part of the treaty was that they would have to release all of them. The Huns claimed that they did not release all the prisoners. They also claimed that a Roman bishop made a secret trip into Hun territory and desecrated Hun graves. So Attila and the Huns said, the Romans have broke this treaty. They didn't do what they agreed upon. They didn't release all these prisoners. And this Roman bishop came into Hun territory and desecrated a bunch of Hun graves. Historians have found no evidence of either of these things happening. Most people believe that Attila just made up these things so he could attack the Romans. The Huns ransacked many more cities across the Roman countryside. So war with the Romans. After you saw that the Romans had left and that the cities were left unchecked and unguarded, the Huns claimed that the treaty had been broken by the Romans and that they didn't release all the prisoners, that a bishop came over and desecrated a bunch of Hun graves. And so Attila attacks the Romans, ransacked many cities across the Roman countryside. There's just some depictions on how the Huns would fight. Like I said, small, fast horses, shooting their arrows, close distance. They did not like to get off their horses. So the Huns reached within 20 miles of the capital at the time, which was Constantinople. The Emperor of Rome had to pay Attila to leave. So they attacked the Roman Empire. They got within 20 miles of Constantinople. The Emperor of Rome had to pay Attila a large sum of money, much gold and silver, to leave and to not attack the capital, which was Constantinople at the time. After the Huns returned to the Great Plain, Attila's brother, Bleda, disappears from record. So historians have lost all record of Bleda after they come back from this attack with Rome. One theory is that he died in battle, but the most popular theory is that Attila killed him to take sole possession of the throne. So Bleda disappears from the record. He is no more. He either died in battle in the conquest into Rome, where they got 20 miles within Constantinople. But once the Huns return to the Great Hungarian Plain, Bleda is no more. Another theory is that Attila just killed him so that he could be the sole ruler of the Hun army. Years later, after Bleda's death, Attila attacks a weak Rome, again destroying as many as 70 villages. There's an account of at least 70 villages and towns that have been destroyed. This is after they get within 20 miles of Constantinople. Later, 7 or 8 years later, he attacks again, destroying as many as 70 villages. So they attack, believing that the treaty of Margus had been broken because they didn't release the prisoners. The Huns claimed that the Romans didn't release these certain prisoners. They also claimed that this bishop came in, desecrated Hun graves. So Attila attacks. He ransacks the Roman Empire, gets within 20 miles of Constantinople. The emperor at the time had to pay off Attila to leave. So they leave. They go back to the Great Hungarian Plain. When they get back, there's no more record of Bleda, the older brother of Attila. And one theory is that he died in the battle. Another theory is that Attila killed him to take sole possession of the throne. A few years later, Attila attacks the Roman Empire again, destroying as many as 70 villages. This is a picture of Constantinople at the time. It was the hub of the Roman Empire. It's the capital of that area at the time. And this is a picture of what it would have looked like at the time. So Attila got within 20 miles of this. He didn't get all the way, but 20 miles, and then the emperor paid him for him to leave. That is your lesson for today. So make sure you go over April 2nd, Thursday, go over and take your quiz for today. Thank you.